Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope you're having a good day. Let me know if you are hearing me well, if everything is okay. I'm, as always, a little bit late, but that's all right. I hope everybody is here and I'm almost on time. How is everybody doing? I just decided to go live for a little bit. I did this very spontaneously. And because, as you know, the whole stuff is going on right now, the whole issue with France and the cartoons and the Muslim outrage around the world, and massive protests by Muslims and reiterations of things that Muslims generally say, of how Muslims should unite and the strength of Muslims, and how nobody can touch and offend Muslims and nobody can offend the Holy Prophet Muhammad and all that stuff. And I was just thinking a few hours ago about how, as I grew up, I constantly learned the same thing, that the world is scared of us, that people are afraid of us, Muslims. They don't want us to unite. And so I thought that's actually a thing that I really want to talk about right now, since I have seen related issues, related speeches by imams, and also tweets that I searched earlier. I will come to that in a second. Unless you live under a rock, nothing against people who live under a rock. I don't know why ever you would do that. But unless you don't know, Charlie Hebdo published these cartoons long ago. Those cartoons were this year republished. And a teacher, Samuel Paty, recently, 2 weeks ago almost, showed those cartoons to his class in order to discuss the idea of free speech. Thereafter, he was brutally killed, beheaded by a Muslim in France, by an Islamic terrorist in the name of Islam. Instead of being outraged about the killing, the Muslim world have concentrated their outrage on the cartoons, which says a lot. After that, a few days ago, several people, 3 people were killed in Nice, France, again, because of the same issue, because Islamic scholars keep pushing the narrative that that you cannot insult Islam, and that insulting Islam and insulting the Holy Prophet Muhammad should be met with strong reactions. So these Islamic scholars and apologists have actually fueled this, the violence, have fueled the killings, have fueled the murder, the beheading, and it simply keeps going on. Today, again, an attack happened. I'm not sure if there are any updates on that, but I believe, as far as I've seen a few hours ago, an Orthodox priest was shot in France, but he did not die. He's wounded and survived. And people don't know about the perpetrator yet, but it seems that it is, again, an Islamic terrorist who was motivated by the whole outrage that is currently going on. Now, I want to mention a few things. The Islamic world is currently going crazy. They're going wild. I see the comments, everybody. Thank you so much, and thanks for being here. Hello, everybody. I will interact more in a little bit, but the whole outrage is going on, and the Islamic world is really going is really very loud in a big chaos right now. They are basically confirming what the French President Macron said just a few days ago, which was that Islam is at a crisis. Islam is in a crisis all around the world. And that is basically happening right now, and it has more intensified simply because Muslims are outraged about these cartoons. The issue is that the reason they are outraged is that the French President Macron did not condemn these cartoons and did not criticize them, did not ban them, but projected them onto government buildings in order to make the point that, hey, this is allowed in France, this is part of France, not only criticizing and mocking Islam, but also criticizing and mocking other religions and ideas. All of that is allowed in Islam, in France. It is part of France. And there is nothing wrong with that, and you cannot kill people over that. So that was the entire point. In fact, many Muslims keep asking, oh, they would never mock Jews and Christians. Have you ever seen them mock Jews? But there are actually Charlie Hebdo publications from from the decades in which Jews were mocked, Mary was mocked, Mother Mary was mocked, Jesus was mocked, Christians were mocked, the Pope was mocked, and so on. The only people that react, the only group that has reacted so strongly and so violently has been the Islamic group, the Islamic circle, the Islamic side. Nobody has been killed for cartoons about Jews and Christians and the Pope and Mary and so on. All of this is very ironic. I grew up as a Muslim, and I grew up in a very religious Muslim family. And I know from many other Muslims, from how Muslims generally grow up, Muslims keep telling each other, and Muslims are constantly told by their parents, by their teachers, by religious figures, religious leaders, that the world is afraid of Muslims. And that is what this is about. That's what I want to talk about today. Seriously. On the one hand, we talk about Islamophobia, and Islamophobia literally means the fear of Islam. Actually, that's what it means, or the irrational fear of Islam. On the one hand, Muslims and Muslim apologists and scholars and speakers constantly complain about Islamophobia, and people complain about Islamophobia and point out that people are being prejudiced and falsely Islamophobic. But on the other hand, when Muslims raise their children, they raise them with the idea that the world is afraid of us Muslims, and that we are proud of that. We're proud of that. I learned the same thing. I kept being told during my entire childhood, during my entire upbringing, that the world is scared of us Muslims, that that the world doesn't want us Muslims to unite, because they know that if we come together, then we will be strong, and we're strong. We will subjugate the world. We will show them who is the boss. We will show them how things run, and we will spread fear and power and all that. That's what you learn as a Muslim. That's what I learned as a Muslim. That's what so many others learned. And this is not something that Muslims just teach each other. This has to do with Islamic fundamentals, with the Quran, with the Hadith, with the way Muhammad was, with the way the Quran is, and also with Islamic history. I mean, if you look at the Quran, I could indeed show those Quran verses, but if you look at the Quran, in their hearts, terror in their hearts. Which Quran verse is that? Quran. So the Quran directly mentions how Muhammad mentions in a hadith that he has been made victorious with terror, that Allah inspires terror in the hearts, fear in the hearts of the disbelievers, and that Muslims become victorious by Allah instilling fear in the hearts of the disbelievers. This is what Muhammad says. This is what the Quran says. I wanted to prepare that before, but I completely forgot that. So let me quickly look for that and bring this up right here. So here are some sources that I want to show here on my screen, and I will show more sources later on about a multitude of things. Is that the right way to say it? Am I speaking proper English? Whatever. But so here is a hadith, for example. And you see in this hadith, it says, Allah's messenger said, I have been sent with the shortest expressions bearing the widest meanings, and I have been made victorious with terror cast in the hearts of the enemy. I have been made victorious with terror cast in the hearts of the enemy. This is what Muhammad says. Muhammad, the holy prophet of Islam, the religion of reason, the religion of peace, the religion of everything good, the beautiful religion. This is what the Holy Prophet Muhammad says in Sahih Bukhari, which is equal to or secondary to the Quran. Authentically, here Muhammad says, I have been made victorious with terror. And Muhammad doesn't just say this in the hadith. Indeed, these websites were kind of turned into something weird here, but let me see. Here is a Quran verse, for example, which says, remember when your Lord inspired to the angels, I am with you, so strengthen those who have believed. I will cast terror into the hearts of those who disbelieved, so strike them upon the necks and strike from them every fingertip. This is referring to a war in which Muslims are at war with the polytheists, and in which the Muslims are supposed to be afraid because they are in lower numbers, but Allah instills fear in the hearts of the disbelievers, of the Muslims, because Allah is with the Muslims, and He instills fear in the hearts of the disbelievers, and this is how Muslims win. This is how Muslims are victorious. This is a general narrative that you can find within the Quran and the Hadith. And they who give what they give while their hearts are fearful. Okay, this is about a completely different topic. I was just looking for fear because I forgot to search that beforehand. But yeah, so this is where the whole narrative comes from. That the disbelievers are afraid, and that Allah instills fear in their hearts. You will see that in many interactions where Muslim apologists, especially the traditionalist Muslim apologists, interact with critics of Islam, like me, for example, they will claim that we are afraid. And what they mean by that is not that we are personally scared of them. What they mean is that Allah instills fear in our hearts, and the Muslims become victorious. The Muslims become fearful to us because of this fear that Allah instills in the hearts of the disbelievers. This is a great topic for Halloween, by the way. Maybe maybe people should go out wearing a Quran or a long Muslim dress or a thing on their head that says, I have been made victorious with fear. That would be a nice Halloween outfit. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, so this is a narrative that the Quran, introduces, which Muhammad introduces, which Muhammad brags about, and which Muslims learn. As Muslims of Turkish backgrounds, for example, I was told and taught, and many other Muslims were taught that that the Ottoman Empire, which is a Turkish Islamic empire, was a huge empire that was fierce with its enemies, and the enemies were afraid of it, and that the Islamic caliphates before that were powerful, and the disbelievers were afraid of it. They could do nothing against us. Strangely, we could never conquer Europe, and Europeans and Westerners are only causing division among us right now because they don't want us to come together again. They don't want us to unite again and to be powerful again because they are afraid of us. What is funny about this is, I will soon talk about how Muslims are not that strong and not that confident at all. But what I find funny and ironic about this is that the claim that people are being Islamophobic is made at the same time. So here is me saying, hey, people, don't be Islamophobic. Don't be Islamophobic. Don't be prejudiced. Don't have this Islamophobia. Don't look at me weird when you see me walking by. I'm just a Muslim. I'm not bad. On the other hand, I'm also saying, hey, the world is afraid of us because they don't want us to come together. They don't want us to be strong. They don't want us to be powerful. They don't want us to have our power again, so that no one can oppress us, so that no one can insult our prophet. These two narratives, seriously, are in the same mind of the collective Muslim mindset in the world. Isn't it ridiculous? Isn't it strange? Isn't it hypocritical? It almost makes you think that being afraid of Islam or being cautious of Islam is actually justified, because it is the general Muslim narrative that pushes the idea that infidels, disbelievers, should be afraid of us Muslims because Allah has made us powerful and has made them fearful. So this is how they think. I now want to, before I started this, I went on a quick search in just like 10 minutes or so. I didn't go very deep. But I went into a few tweets on Twitter in which Muslims expressed ideas of wanting to come together so that nobody can insult the Muslims again, and nobody can intimidate the Muslims again. Is there David Wood in the live stream? David Wood, what are you doing here, David Wood? David made a super chat of $100. David. See, this is why people say stuff like, you never criticize Christianity because you are being paid by Christians. And that's why you're doing this, because you just want to be paid by Christians. So see, I am being paid by Christians here. David Wood made a $100 super chat. Said, "This live stream is very offensive. No one has the right to offend another person. Your freedom ends where other people's feelings begin." This is not an exaggeration. This is exactly what I have been seeing, and I will show this. So, yeah, David, thank you for the super chat. And this is an accurate representation of how these people actually act. But here, let me get to it. Don't be distracted by David. He's just trying to attract attention right now. That's what I usually do on his live streams. So here. Let me manage this. I am sorry for showing people's handles here, but Twitter is a public platform where if you publish something, the whole world sees it. If you are against it, if you have a problem with it, you are to make your profile private. If your profile is on public and you make public tweets, then people can take those tweets and can actually even use them in a gallery and sell them. So this is a thing. So no offense to all these people. I have no issues with these people personally, but I just want to talk about how people in the Muslim world, in the Islamic world, think. So this person said, "The world forgot the power the Muslim Ummah hold when we unite. Boycott French product." The world forgot the power the Muslim Ummah hold when we unite. The Muslim Ummah refers to the Muslim community. Ummah means something like community or nation. And this is, the Muslims consider themselves one nation, one community, one Ummah. So Muslims are supposed to come together and supposed to be one large community that sticks together and that is powerful. This is basically the same feeling, the same narrative. The world forgot the power the Muslim Ummah hold when we unite. Comes from the same place. Thank you, Prime Minister Imran Khan, for taking this lead for the Muslim nation, a true leader. It is time indeed that the Ummah unites to fight against all such fitna, corruption, or instigation, whatever it's called, to protect our values. The Ummah unites to fight against all such fitna. What we're talking about here is to fight against the French people's right to draw and publish cartoons. What kind of power do you need to do that? Here is one that is even more explicit. Macron the devil. As long as the Muslim Ummah was together, no one dared to insult our Prophet, but our scattering humiliated us. May Allah unite us. May Allah unite us. This is basically the same narrative which Muslims are being told over and over again, which I was told over and over again when I was a child, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, and I still hear it left and right. They don't want us to unite because when we Muslims unite, we are powerful. They are afraid of us. And they deliberately want to keep us separated with ideas like freedom of speech and secularism and so on. There's also this big conspiracy theory going on that all Muslim leaders are basically puppets of the evil West, which just wants them to keep Muslims in nation states because they don't want Muslims to unite and rule the world once again. But many Muslims have the idea that this will change in the future, and that the Muslim world will once again rise and wage a jihad. May Allah bless the Imam who delivered a wonderful Friday sermon today, spoke about the lofty status and noble character of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him, called on the Muslims to repent and unite, and completed it with a prayer for the destruction of the French enemies. It is time to awake and unite Muslim country leaders to pressurize France's government, who again displayed sketches of our last Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. We demand to kick out French ambassador in first step. Erdogan announced jihad on France. Are you kidding me, man? This person is asking Erdogan, the president of the Turkish Republic, to declare a jihad, to wage a jihad against France. This person, I don't know if this person has any idea what kind of a country Turkey is, but the current leader, the current president of Turkey may be somebody who believes in political Islam and who is an Islamist. But Turkey is by no means a country that is in any way comparable to religious Muslim countries in the Middle East. In Turkey has a big pop culture where you can go and search Turkish music videos, and you see how women basically almost get naked and dance around to enjoy sexuality and to enjoy freedom and stuff like that. There is currently Turkish rap is on the rise, which is extremely contrary to waging jihad on France. So I don't think these people who admire Erdogan know what they're talking about. Time for the Ummah to wake up. It's time to unite for saving dignity of Muslim Ummah. Shame on you, Macron. So these people are basically crying about how French people are allowed to do whatever they want in their own country. They're basically afraid. Oh, sorry, I haven't maximized this. They're basically afraid. They're basically mad because France does not execute people for drawing Muhammad cartoons. That's what this is about. That's what it is. So it's not enough that you say, hey, I don't like the cartoons, but people can do whatever they want. It's not enough to say, hey, don't make cartoons. No, France has to execute people for making cartoons. That's what these people want, because that would happen in every Muslim country out there. In some countries, execution does not exist, or execution for that doesn't exist, but then you would just be lynched, which is why nobody does it. The boycott France products and its effects show how strong the Muslim Ummah could be if we all unite together. By the way, there is this narrative that, Muslims all across the world are currently boycotting France, and this boycott has a huge impact on France, and France is losing right now. It's not true at all. The French economy is not being hurt by the boycott. The boycott is not doing anything at all. It is not doing anything. You can read the latest reports, and economists are basically saying that that the boycott will not shake France in any way, and even if it harms France in a little, even if there's a small magnitude of harm to the economy of France, then it will be very short. Muslim people around the world tend to express their disappointments and their anger very loudly, but they usually only speak. They don't actually act. People will not stop buying French products. There will be like 2% of those people will actually practically boycott French products. Many people cannot even buy French products. People in Turkey, for example, cannot even buy French products because they don't have any money, because the economy of that country under the Islamists is horrible. They cannot afford French products. So don't be scared, France. Wait, what was this? It's time for the Muslim Ummah to unite and line up against the world of disbelief. Truth and falsehood will continue to happen anyway, so why not now? What do you want to do against the world of disbelief? Disbelief. The Quran describes disbelievers as the worst of creatures. I keep forgetting to switch back and forth here, but let me open up one specific Quran verse. I kind of summarized this today without giving the sources. I can do that again. I can do it with the sources together in the following days, if ever necessary. But the Quran basically says, those who disbelieve among the people of the book and the idolaters, people of the book refers to Jews and Christians, and idolaters are the polytheists, will have the fire of hell there to remain. They are the worst of creation. This is how the Quran describes the disbelievers. So people who do not believe in Islam, this is basically referring to everybody, because Jews and Christians who disbelieve are that's all Jews and Christians. It's everybody who rejects Muhammad and the Quran and Allah. People who disbelieve are the worst of creatures. This is how the Quran describes them. The Quran also describes disbelievers as deaf, dumb, and blind, as diseased in their hearts, as lower than cattle, that Allah created them for hellfire, that we are liars and we are blind and all that. This is what the word disbeliever, which is a kafir, which means to hide or to conceal, as in concealing and hiding the truth, implies. We disbelievers are dishonest, filthy liars. This is the entire implication. So when you see somebody say, let's unite against the disbelievers, that is what they really mean. Okay. If Muslims were united today, the world of infidels would not have the courage to commit such heinous acts. Prophet Muhammad's teachings are to unite humanity. And how is it possible for Muslims to stay away from each other due to some differences of opinion? Leaders of Muslim countries should unite and launch a war against France because they have insulted our Prophet. We can't take it anymore. We have to unite to destroy them. I want to talk about something here. I mean, seriously, look at this. Leaders of Muslim countries should unite and launch a war against France because they have insulted our Prophet. We can't take it anymore. We have to unite to destroy them. Let's declare war on a country. Let's kill people because they insulted our Prophet, because they have hurt our feelings. We cannot take it anymore. The Prophet is so dear to us. He's so dear to us. We love him so much. Man, what? Get your act together. Everyone that ain't heard about how France mocked our Prophet and are just carrying on with their lives honestly need to question how much they truly love Prophet Muhammad. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, on the one hand, this is the funny dilemma here. On the one hand, Muslims learn as they grow up for decades that Islam is so strong that Allah instills fear in the hearts of non-Muslims, of disbelievers, as I have shown you earlier. To bring that up again, oh, did I close it? Come on, man. Yeah, here I will instill terror into the hearts of unbelievers. Or here Muhammad says, I have been made victorious with terror cast in the hearts of my enemy. So on the one hand, Muslims learn that Islam is strong, that Muslims are strong, that the disbelievers are afraid of Islam, that they don't want us to unite because they are so terrified of us, because they know that if we just unite, we will become huge and we will crush the world and we will dominate the world again. On the one hand, they learn this, but on the other hand, they are hurt and they want to declare war because they cannot take it anymore. They cannot take it anymore that we insult their holy prophet. How can you hurt people's feelings and then expect to get away with it? How can you hurt people's feelings? How can you hurt people's feelings? I'm so... That's it. They're all afraid of us. They're afraid of us. They're scared of us. We will dominate the world if they just let us. If they would just let us unite and we came together, then we would dominate the world. We have done it again and we will do it again. But how dare they hurt our feelings? Don't hurt my feelings. Don't hurt our feelings. Don't speak ill of our prophet. Don't rip up the Quran. Don't make cartoons. That makes me so sad. We can't take it anymore. Let's declare war. That definitely doesn't sound like strength. That doesn't instill fear in my heart. When I hear this, I'm not afraid. When I see that doesn't make me terrified of Islam. That doesn't make me afraid. It doesn't make me think, oh, whoa, we have to be careful. We have to be scared of Islam. No, that's not how I react. That is definitely not how I react. My God. So, seriously, man, what the hell? Oh my God. This is definitely complaining because some French cartoonists, because some petty French cartoon magazine, some satire magazine in France, published cartoons about your precious Holy Prophet Muhammad. Complaining about that is definitely not a sign, a symbol of strength, is definitely not a sign that you are proud and that they are scared of you. That is definitely not the case. It couldn't be more obvious, right? Man. Ridiculous. Imagine you're hurt, you're scared, and you believe people deserve to be killed because people are drawing cartoons. Some French guys are drawing. Nobody even cared about Charlie Hebdo until the Islamic world reacted with such anger. Imam Khomeini said, if all Muslims, I want to read Persian Shia Muslim stuff. They're usually uh, people loyal to the Iranian regime are pretty. I don't know. I don't even want to read them, but here I will do it. If all Muslims were united and each one poured a bucket of water on Israel, it would be flooded. Look at these casual genocidal sentiments here. It's the same now. If all Muslim countries unite and boycott France, these insults won't be repeated and will be a lesson for others not to insult the sanctities of Islam. Good, at least he doesn't want to drown France. I appreciate that very much. I think I've read this before. Shame on every Muslim who stays quiet while France openly insults our Prophet, peace be upon him. Racism and homophobia is seen as hate. Racism and homophobia is seen as hate. But somehow slander against Islam is freedom of speech. Islam is not a person. Islam is a religion. It is a faith, a religion. I was once a Muslim and I am no longer a Muslim because I do no longer believe in that. It is not something that I have to live with. It is not on my face. It is not in my nature. It does not belong to me. I simply believe in it. I simply use my mind and believe in that thing. And at some point, I stop believing in that, and I'm no longer a Muslim. That is what Islam is. It is also not a person that you can slander. People can draw cartoons and satirize Muhammad. There's nothing terrible about that. It is not comparable to racism. It is not comparable to homophobia. The notion with homophobia, with homosexuality, is that this is something that people naturally have, and you shouldn't go against it. No matter whether you agree with it or not, this is not remotely comparable. This is a completely different thing. Racism is worlds apart. You cannot compare racism, racial bigotry, racial hatred to the criticism of a religion, which is also, by the way, offensive and hostile against all other religions and against the world. You cannot compare these two things. A sub-Saharan African who is dark-skinned, whom we refer to as a black African, or a white European, they are this way because of so many genetic factors. That is what racism is about. It is a skin color. People have to live with that forever. They are born that way. They die that way. If you insult people and if you generalize people and judge people based on their skin color, you will be mistaken. You will be wrong. This will be cruel. It is horrible. It is dumb. It is stupid. You're basically condemning people for the way they are born and which they can never change. Islam is not the same thing. Black people or Chinese people or whatever you want to call it, white people, white is not even a race. None of these are races, but these people don't have ideologies, dogmas that hold them together. Islam is an ideology. It has a book. It has a prophet. It has dogmas. It makes big claims. It has a scripture. It has prophets. I probably mentioned these things already. That's a huge difference. You cannot compare these two things. Man. Those are not the same things, but yeah. Hate speech, freedom of speech, insulting Christianity and insulting Judaism is also free speech, by the way. This person deliberately didn't bring that up because Charlie Hebdo also made cartoons about Christianity and also cartoons about Judaism, and nobody, not a single person, was killed because of that. Man. This is one comment that I saw somewhere else, but I don't even want to read it. If you want to go back to it later, maybe you can. But people are basically complaining that if you say to somebody, hey, if you insult my prophet, then I can kill you, and they don't stop, then it's your right to kill them, which is a very messed up way to think. This person said, boycotting products has been a failed strategy. No wonder the kuffar continue mocking our prophet. Instead, we must work to remove current rulers and replace them with the caliphate system that will rule by Islam, unite the ummah, and respond. Yeah, good luck doing that. Good luck doing that. Others tried it and their end was not very well. Let's come to other people who have shared these same sentiments. This MMA fighter, I don't follow MMA at all, Khabib, made an Instagram post in which he depicted Macron with the shoe sole on it, and said the following: May the Allah, may the Allah, may the Almighty disfigure the face of this creature, referring to Macron. May the Almighty disfigure the face of this creature and all his followers, who, under the slogan of freedom of speech, offend the feelings of more than 1.5 billion Muslim believers. May the Almighty humiliate them in this life and in the next. Allah is quick in holding to account, and you will see it. We are Muslims. We love our Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, more than our mothers, fathers, children, wives, and all other people close to our hearts. Sorry, that's a very stupid thing to do. Believe me, these provocations will come back to them. The end is always for the God-fearing. Do you see these sentiments? This person unites millions of Muslims here. This is a screenshot that is fairly early. In only 47 minutes after it was posted, it received 596,000 likes. I checked earlier today. I think it had like almost 3 million likes or so. 3 million likes by Muslim followers who are all proud of this fighter, of this MMA fighter, Khabib, and who think he represents them with his terrible attitude. And they think this is a good thing to say. This is how you should lead. To curse this guy, to wish curses upon him and all his followers, for Allah to disfigure them, and for Muslims to be victorious, and for those who insult Muhammad to be punished in this world and afterwards. These are the sentiments that are going on. This whole drama is going on all across the world. Imran Khan is talking about how people are hurting the sentiments of Muslims here, hurt the sentiments of millions of Muslims in Europe and across the world. Hurting the sentiments. Man, freedom of speech, the value of freedom of speech, which we have in the West, which these people do not understand because they are not raised with it, because they are not familiar with it, because they don't learn about it. The value of freedom of speech is that people should be allowed to express their opinions in whatever way they want to express them. And nobody should be able to censor it. The state should not be able to censor it or to punish people for their opinions. Freedom of speech. It is called freedom of speech because you should be able to express opinions that might be distasteful, disliked by other people. Even if most people completely disagree with what you say, you should be able to say it. People should then give you a reaction like, well, what the hell are you talking about? That's disgusting. Fine. That's their reaction. People find it disgusting. But you are allowed to say it. That's freedom of speech. And freedom of speech stops where it actually really hurts other people and prevents or interferes with their freedoms. Like when you threaten somebody, when you incite violence. In some places, when you slander and libel people. Or when... in some places, when you dehumanize and call for the killing and call for people, for groups of people to be immediately removed and stuff like that. So speech that actually causes harm, that can cause immediate harm. France is not as liberal in terms of freedom of speech, but the United States, for example, is extremely liberal in terms of freedom of speech. You can say pretty much anything in America. And the purpose of that is really that people should be able to express their opinions without people telling them, hey, you cannot say that, or without people being allowed to kill you. Because if we suppress opinions, no matter if they are true or false, then this will simply lead to chaos in the long run. It will lead to rebellions. It will lead to hostilities, to anger. We should instead, as civilized societies, be able to express our opinions and to agree or disagree with them. Hurting people's feelings is not putting anyone in danger. It is not actually hurting anybody. Your sentiments are not included in people being hurt. Hurting people's sentiments is not equal to inciting violence or saying, hey, I think these people should be killed. I think those people should die. It's not similar. Those are just your feelings. You know, if you don't like cartoons, if you don't like Muhammad cartoons, then you don't have to look at them. If you don't like Muhammad cartoons, don't look at Muhammad cartoons. If you think people should not make Muhammad cartoons, then don't make Muhammad cartoons. But don't tell people that they're not allowed to look at and not allowed to make Muhammad cartoons. This is a summary of freedom of speech. This is a value that we have. And you cannot remove this. You will not remove this. It is very simple, very easy. If you don't want to participate in something, if you don't want to do something, just stay away from it. Ignore it. Be an adult. Stop being so sensitive. But can they be sensitive? Look at this. This made me pretty mad. Let's look at what this guy says. Let me know if you can hear this, if you hear any echo.
Not too long ago, a teacher in France
Can you hear this okay? Let me know quickly.
chose to show those insulting cartoons.
Sound okay? Sounds good? Sounds good? Sounds good? Sounds good? Sounds good? I'm not getting any messages here. What's going on? No echo. What is this? No echo. Okay, wonderful. You can hear it. So, yeah. Let me increase my own volume. I can barely hear it. Okay. So this is a preacher, an imam in Canada, and he's expressing these thoughts while people are claiming that cartoons were offensive. Listen to this.
Not too long ago, a teacher in France chose to show those insulting cartoons to his class at a school. And of course, some of the Muslim students who were there were very annoyed and upset, and they objected, as did their parents.
Of course.
And they spoke up, but nobody bothered listening to them. Nobody paid any attention to them. Then about a week ago, it is said, and I repeat, it is said, that a young Muslim man confronted this cursed individual. He confronted this evil-spirited man. He confronted this filthy excuse of a human being on the street, and he beheaded him.
You're wearing a tablecloth on your head, and you're talking about how people should conduct themselves and what they should and should not show people, and how, you know, you are basically critiquing the way people act in a civilized society, acting this way. I mean, this person is first off saying, I will go on with this, but it is sad. Look, it is sad. I repeat, it is sad, he says, that a young Muslim man confronted this cursed individual. A young Muslim man, it is sad, confronted this cursed individual. There are two things happening here. He is implying that it is not sure whether this was a Muslim, that this may just have been a game, a planted, an act staged in order to blame Muslims. There is conspiracy theory here, very common, but at the same time, he brutally curses a teacher simply for showing cartoons to his class in France, in a civilized society, to students that are supposed to learn something, in order to teach them about freedom of speech and about how different cultures, different people perceive freedom of speech, and how this cartoon matter is a debate in terms of freedom of speech. This is why this imam is calling that man with hate in his face a cursed individual, an evil-spirited man.
Confronted this cursed individual. He confronted this evil-spirited man. He confronted this filthy excuse of a human being on the street, and he beheaded him.
Look at what's happening here. The Muslim confronted this filthy excuse of a human being in the street and beheaded him. This man is basically justifying the murder, the brutal killing of this teacher because the teacher dared to show cartoons to his classroom. And this imam is in Canada, a Canadian imam who is allowed to say this stuff. But you know what Justin Trudeau said? He said that while he thinks violence is wrong, there should be limits to freedom of speech. Freedom of speech has limits. The embarrassing Canadian Prime Minister, I feel so embarrassed for Canadians for having such a terribly idiotic Prime Minister. Justin Trudeau said there are limits to freedom of speech. He has basically been an apologist for Islamic terrorism, made excuses for Islamic terrorism. I have tweeted about that. Don't look at my wide face here. Yeah, okay. I didn't link. I thought there was a link to the thing here. But Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau basically said that free speech has limits. So he said while people should not go and kill people, there are also limits to freedom of speech. And this moron, this idiot, this embarrassment of a prime minister is saying that in a moment where people are being killed over a cartoon. And he's saying, yeah, people shouldn't be killed, but there are limits to freedom of speech. This is supposed to be Canada's prime minister. This is supposed to be a French leader, a Western leader, a Western prime minister. And he is expressing this. Freedom of speech has limits. Instead of saying, hey, nobody, unconditionally, nobody can be killed for speech. This is completely unacceptable. This is completely unacceptable, and mockery is protected by free speech. As it is, instead of saying that, this guy comes out and basically feeds the narrative of Islamic terrorists. But in that same country, this guy here makes such an inflammatory speech, and Justin Trudeau will probably do nothing about it.
Right now, we are angry at what these filthy people are doing. So one of the things that you and I can do is to boycott all French products and services. Allahumma a'izz al-Islam wal-Muslimin.
You see the subtitles, but I will repeat it loudly. Oh Allah, give strength to Islamic Muslims
وَأَذِلَّ الْكَفَرَةَ وَالْمُشْرِكِينَ.
and humiliate the infidels and the
اللهم
polytheists.
دمر أعداء الدين
Oh Allah, destroy the enemies of Islam
وأهلك الزنادقة والملحدين
and annihilate the heretics and atheists or apostates.
والملحدين اللهم انصر المجاهدين في سبيلك في كل مكان.
Oh Allah, support those who wage war for your sake everywhere.
كان
Jihad.
اللهم أهلك كل من أساء لرسول الله
Annihilate those who slandered the Prophet
صلى الله
Muhammad.
عليه وسلم. اللهم أهلك كل من أساء إلى رسولك صلى الله عليه وسلم. اللهم أهلك كل من أساء لرسولك صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Oh Allah, annihilate those who have slandered the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Peace be upon him. Peace and blessings be upon him. This is the sentiment. And if you think like this guy, if you think like this man, then just get the hell out. Get the hell out of the West. Get the hell out of countries in which people enjoy freedom of speech. Get the hell out in which there is diversity. Get the hell out of places in which people can criticize ideas, in which people can believe and disbelieve, in which people can criticize ideas, can criticize beliefs, in which people can criticize certain religious figures. Get the hell out of places like these if you think like this guy who prays to Allah in front of his audience to annihilate people who insult Islam and to annihilate heretics and apostates and to give strength to Islam and Muslims and to bless those who wage war, who wage jihad for Allah, to humiliate the infidels and the polytheists. You are living in Canada. You are living in Canada, which is an infidel nation. Get the hell out. Get the hell out, man. I don't know why I have this guy here. This guy is a very this guy is not very smart, but he's considered an educated Muslim apologist, and in order to be counted as an educated and as an intelligent, strong Muslim apologist, you don't have to be very strong. You don't have to be very smart, but. So the guy was basically saying here, mocking black people equals racism, mocking Jewish people, anti-Semitism, mocking homosexuals, homophobia, and for some reason, mocking Islam, Muslims, free speech. Therefore, it is not about free speech. It is to normalize the hatred of Islam, Muslims. Why, I wonder, for what end? Man, there are so many issues with the way you are thinking and you're proceeding here, dear Adnan Rashid. First off, as said, black people, racism, well, it is right there, it's race. That would only be equivalent to mocking, brown people, mocking people of a specific racial, ethnic background. You're comparing apples and oranges. It makes no sense. But even that would be allowed under free speech. Mocking Jewish people, anti-Semitism. Funny, I think I even responded to this tweet in which let me go back to that, in which I actually listed several occasions where Charlie Hebdo published cartoons about Jews. Here, Charlie Hebdo mocks the idea that Jews and Muslims are the untouchables, whom you shall not joke about. And the speech bubble here says, don't make fun, or something like that. So here, Charlie Hebdo is mocking Jews directly. Here, the Jew is depicted here, and the Muslim and the Christian is depicted here. Here is a huge series in Charlie Hebdo cartoons where they basically make fun of Jewish practices and of Judaism. And here they are even making fun of circumcision in Judaism. Here, Charlie Hebdo is blatantly, openly mocking Jews. So what was it again that you said, dear Adnan Rashid, and numerous others like him that I've seen since yesterday, who say, oh, you would never mock Jewish people. Mocking Jewish people is anti-Semitism, but mocking Muslims is free speech. No. Charlie Hebdo and many others constantly mock Jews and Christians and Muslims and even homosexuals, which is your next point here. And they are usually defended under free speech. But again, homosexuals is also, again, something that is not comparable to Muslims or Islam, which is a religion or a religious group. Now, mocking Islam is not equal to mocking Muslims. I can say that I dislike Islam and I hate Islam and I mock Islam and I find Islam stupid. I find Islam ridiculous. But what I just said was that I hate the religion Islam. I find the religion of Islam ridiculous and stupid and unenlightened and whatever it is. I have made no statement at all about Muslims because we distinguish between the religion and the religious group. You are deliberately putting Islam and Muslims into one category to make it look like an attack on Islam is directly an attack on Muslims and an indication of hate and anti-Muslim bigotry, which is not the case. So here you are actually not only taking things completely out of context, comparing completely wrong things to each other, you're also deliberately twisting the narrative here to make it look like the world is somehow going against Muslims and somehow acting against Muslims. You are having a war with yourselves. The world is not having a war with you. Here I responded to this. Black skin color, Islam religion. Charlie Hebdo repeatedly mocked Jews. Sexuality is not a religion. Surprise, surprise, but was also mocked. Mocking Islam is not equal to any of these. Wow. It is all free speech. Stop killing people. Wow, that was easy. So the point here is really, I want to really compile a list of all the reactions by big Muslim leaders and apologists and scholars and voices. But what you see in their responses is always the same thing. There is no strong reaction to the beheading, to the killing of people. There is always an emphasis on the cartoons, on insulting Islam. Even Mufti Menk, for example, who is, sorry if I just made a noise, I just punched my microphone by mistake. But even Mufti Menk, who is supposed to be a very peaceful imam, didn't condemn the violence and simply said that you should not mock Islam. That if you mock Islam, you are to expect response. These people are merely responding to mocking Islam, but they are not putting any priority at all on ending the violence. Here is what you need to do, dear Muslim scholars, dear Muslim teachers, Muslim leaders, Muslim politicians, Muslim voices, small Muslim apologists all around the world. Condemn the violence. Condemn the violence. Tell people, look, it is this easy. Just do this. Say, hey, no matter what, the killing has to stop immediately. Killing is not okay. It is horrible. The beheading, the killing, the massacre has to stop immediately. All those who kill people, all those who massacre people are not of us. Condemn it and stop it immediately, unconditionally, right now. Instead of doing that, they go and focus on cartoons and on mocking Islam and basically make excuses for the next Muslim, for the next Islamic terrorist that wants to go out there and kill people. And you all have blood on your hands by doing that. Stop the killing. Do something about the killing. Finally, I want to say something very simple. I wanted to talk about how Muslims are weak and Islam is weak. This is not a military speech in which I want to point out that Muslims are militarily weak or anything like that. I just want to bring you closer a little bit to the mind of a Muslim in the face of what is going on right now. Across the world, Muslims are not very devout people. They appear like they take their religion very seriously, and they often say that they take their religion very seriously because that is ingrained in their culture and in their religion, in their beliefs. But Muslims are extremely weak in how much they are devoted to Islamic practices. Most Muslims don't do their 5 daily prayers, and it is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. You must do it in order to be part of Islam. You must do it in order to be a Muslim. A Muslim must do the prayers, the 5 daily prayers. Most Muslims do not do it. Even most Muslims who do pray don't pray 5 times a day or often miss some of the prayers. So there is always this guilt going around, and Muslims constantly blame each other and warn each other and talk about their own laziness and their own lack of devotion to Islam. There is this constant weakness going on. Muslim countries are suffering. They're not very disciplined. They're not very successful. There is always something wrong in most Muslim countries. Their economy sucks. Social standards suck. Freedoms suck. Everything sucks. Societies are angry. I lived in Turkey for 10 years. I visited Iraq. I was in contact with people from so many other Muslim cultures. If you went into those countries, went onto into a square and started handing out passports, European passports, German passports, whatever it is, people would trample each other to come and get a passport from you. They would trample each other to get a German passport. They would kill each other by mistake. They would trample each other to death to get a British, a France passport, because they are in love with the West. They are in love with Europe. They want to get out of there. They want to live in better standards because the Islamic world sucks, and they blame it on their lack of religion. But yet they want to live in a less religious, in a less Islamic world. Muslims generally have a problem with their own beliefs, with the way they practice their beliefs. Muslims don't read the Quran. The vast majority of Muslims have never sat down and read a significant part of the Quran. The vast majority of Muslims, maybe over 95%, have never read the Quran through. And many more than that, of those, only very few have actually read the Quran in a language which they understand. Most Muslims do not properly follow the Prophet's teachings. Most Muslims do not properly follow Islam, especially these people who are outraged online and who so much express how they love their Prophet and how you have no right to insult the Prophet, and who make these big excuses and these big declarations, are at home wasting their time doing other things because they love how free they are becoming. They love the influence that comes from Western culture, from Western pop culture. They don't want to live with Islam. They don't like living with Islam. They only have to tell themselves that they love Islam, that they love the Prophet Muhammad. They would not want to live in an Islamic world with actual Islamic laws. They want to live in freedom. They are weak in their faith. But when something like this happens, when in France cartoons are made, and when France defends the right to make cartoons, then all these people, all these Muslims across the world who are so weak in their faith, who are so weak in their devotions, find this opportunity to redeem themselves and to do something for their prophet by complaining on Twitter, by going into the streets and protesting, by saying, hey, we love our prophet, we are proud Muslims. They find the opportunity to actually for once do something for their religion, because otherwise they are just terrible abiding by their religion. They're just terrible being devout to their religion. Their faith is insecure. Islam doesn't have a solid foundation. Islamic apologetics is not very strong, is not very sophisticated. There are no firmly established Islamic defenses. People have no idea what they believe in. They are in doubt, which is why they react with so much anger to criticism, to analysis of Islam, to scrutiny of the Quran, and to the mockery of Muhammad. Because they have such a weak foundation, because they have such a weak ground, because, is that a biblical phrase? I'm gonna, their house is built on sand. Is that a biblical phrase? Tell me. Because of that, because of how insecure their belief is, they are so easily offended, so easily derailed, so easily agitated by any criticism and any poking, any mockery that comes from the outside world, because of insecurity. A devout Muslim, when I was a devout Muslim, when I was a religious Muslim, and I looked at other Muslims outside, and I looked at them and I thought, man, why are people like this? Why are they not devout? Why don't they follow the Quran? Why don't they follow Allah? Why don't they obey Allah? Why don't they follow their messenger? When that is what I thought, and when I was religious, I didn't care about cartoons, about how people mock my prophet, about how people criticize our religion. I didn't care. I didn't care looking into those things. I didn't let my energy and my devotion out there. That is stuff that people do who have otherwise a weak faith, and who are weak in their beliefs, who are weak in their practices, who have to find this one place to let it out. I cared about my obligations, my beliefs, trying to find out what I truly believe in and whether my beliefs are firm or not, which led me out of Islam. Most Muslims are insecure in their beliefs, insecure about their place in the world, don't want to live with Islam, don't want to abide by Islam's atrocious rules for a human. And they let it out when they find the opportunity like this, by claiming that they love their prophet, by claiming that they are such devout Muslims, by claiming that they are the soldiers of Islam. But hey, that's basic psychology. You're redirecting your anger because you are extremely insecure and infirm about the things that you believe in that should normally be stronger, and you let that out as anger directed at other people, instead of improving yourselves, instead of solving the problem of corruption that is in every Muslim country out there, instead of improving your human rights, instead of cleaning your streets, instead of stabilizing your economies, instead of helping women, instead of helping children, instead of making things actually better, you come and you complain. Instead of fixing the broken economy of your country, instead of practicing your religion in a true way or learning more about it and finding out that it is a bunch of nonsense, you care about cartoons. You complain about some French cartoonists and their right to draw cartoons in their own country, while you defend the right to execute people for being gay or for being apostates or for being blasphemers. That is what this is. These are facts. Oh, yeah. And that's it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Not very much, right? Man. I want to quickly take the opportunity, and I know there have been many super chats. I want to look into those super chats quickly, respond to those super chats. Sorry for hurting everybody's feelings. Sorry for expressing my opinions. Sorry for speaking about things openly. Sorry for hurting your sentiments. If you want to kill me for hurting your feelings, please don't. There is a better way. For example, you can look away. You can close your eyes. Yeah, you can look away. You can close your eyes. Close your eyes. Yeah, I'm so smart. Okay. Let me take a drink of my blood juice. I drink blood when I go live. Okay, I want to come to super chats quickly before I leave. P made a super chat and said, "Here is my due tax to Apostate Prophet. Likes and subscribers be upon you." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I want to go very quickly because I want this to be very short. I will go home very soon. I don't want this to be very long. I don't want it to be unwatchable. Michael David Dixon, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Said, "Trick or treat, Muhammad cartoon." Michael David Dixon said in a super chat, "It must be sad failing to conquer Israel after so." Render unto Caesar made a super chat and said, "Take your time. I don't even like Macron, but the Islam backlash has been so bad. I hope he doesn't give in to the pressure." Seriously, I never expected a European, a Western leader to be this strong, to have the courage, the balls that Macron has right now, and I never expected that person to be Macron. Seriously, so many Western leaders are being so weak right now, and Macron is standing strong in defending people's freedoms, and I hope he will stick to that. Karan Kathwani said in a super chat, "Hi AP, peace be upon you. What are your views on former Malaysian PM tweets?" I wanted to mention that too. A former prime minister of Malaysia made some very disgusting tweets in which he said, for example, that Muslims have the right to kill millions of French people for past atrocities and stuff like that. It is horrible. I don't want to bring it up again, but I will use that as in my compilation, which I want to publish, in which I want to show how Muslim scholars, apologists, and leaders around the world reacted to the current issues. Thank you. David Wood made a super chat, and I read it earlier, but thank you so much, David, again. Genghis certainly made a super chat and said, "Secular Turks love you, bro. Don't hate us, guys. We have dumb government. Also, the attacks after teacher are suspicious. I think French deep state did it." Attacks after teacher? No, they're not. Ewald Lowry made a super chat and said, "Cool. Thank you." SGT Love made a super chat and said, "By accepting this super chat, you're taking money from a Jew." See, the Jews are paying me too. I'm being paid by Christians and Jews. This is what's going on here. This is what's going on. This is why I'm hurting the feelings of Muslims. Cyrilla made a super chat and said, "The Muslim who sent me a death threat blocked me." It's a very nice short sentence that just says so much. Oh my god, I appreciate it. Hindostorian made a super sticker and said, "Ha ha ha." Thank you, Hindostorian. Heister Pascal made a super sticker too, with thumbs up. D. Baudreux made a super chat and said, "Army of crybabies." Exactly. Army of crybabies. On the one hand, you say the world is scared of us. On the other hand, you say, "My feelings are hurt. Please stop." How ridiculously pathetic. Linux Dog made a became a member of the channel. You can become a member of the channel by only paying $5, and your name will be a prophet from then on. You can become a prophet by joining the channel for $5. You don't even have to have 11 wives and a child bride for that. It's amazing. Rick Muldew made a super chat, didn't say anything. Bruce Wayne said, "I love how they don't argue that insulting any religion is bad. They have no evidence of that in their text, just that insulting Islam is wrong." Exactly. And while doing so, Islam insults every religion out there and every religious group out there. At the same time, we are not to insult Islam, because that is such a disrespectful, such a bad act, and we must be punished for that. But hey, execute people for basic freedoms, but don't insult Islam. Don't do that. Linux Dog said, "Keep up your work. Thanks for the clarity you provide for all of us." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bruce Wayne said, sorry. "Imagine having God's perfect religion and it getting harmed by mere cartoons. Such a great religion, that is. Definitely from a god." Michael Gillimore said, "Why wasn't a new caliphate started after the Ottoman Empire? Also, what are your thoughts on Turkey finding oil in the Mediterranean? Could a war with the surrounding countries start? I hope that it doesn't start. definitely. It would be devastating and worse than what we have. But I made a video about the caliphate. The caliphate was abolished by Ataturk, who is the founder of the Turkish Republic. And since he offered it to somebody else, to a sole figure in the Middle East, who did not accept it or could not accept it. And that way, the caliphate was dissolved. After Ataturk reformed Turkey and built a secular country, and the Muslim Empire became a whole bunch of nation states, Muslims became divided and could no longer unite under a caliphate, and they don't want to do that anymore either. So that's why it didn't happen. Even if Muslims wanted to form a caliphate and unite, most countries in the world would never want to become a part of that. They would want their freedom, and Muslims would fight each other over who is going to be the caliph. So it would never happen. It's over. It's the past. It's over. It won't happen. Linux Dog made a super chat and said, I will make some Muhammad cartoons later. Oh, man. A week ago, I asked people to send me Muhammad cartoons, their own Muhammad cartoons, and I would put them here behind me on the wall. What I thought is that nobody would send me anything. I don't know why I keep thinking that way. I thought I would maybe get just like 5-10 cartoons. And now my email inbox is completely is completely paralyzed. I go in there and there are like hundreds of unread emails because so many of you have sent me your own Muhammad cartoons. And now I'm like, what have I done? So I have to save those, put them into an order, and then have to somehow exhibit them on my wall or make a video showing them. I don't know. It's thank you so much, everybody who participated. If I didn't respond to that, it's seriously because my email inbox is chaotic because of those cartoons. Mick B made a super sticker and said, ha ha ha, thank you. Bashir's Nerf Khan made a super sticker and said, hey you. Merry Christmas 2.0 made a super chat and said, repent and be baptized in Jesus' name, Acts 2:37-38. This is the only way to heaven. I cannot do that because I don't believe, but I appreciate it. And I will explain to you why I don't believe, just in a few weeks or days. I don't know. Okay. Flora Lee made a super chat. My voice is disappearing. I have to go. And didn't say anything. Thank you. Julie Mora is here. Julie Mora, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Said, hello, AP. Happy Halloween. Oh, yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. And remember, we are all scared of Islam. Perfect for Halloween. Gururaj Deshpande made a super sticker and said, cool. Julie Mora made a super chat and said, I'm offended by Islam. So am I. Most people are. Dude, how many super chats are here? Religion of Peace made a super chat and said, wear Muhammad costume for Halloween. Stefan39 said, Surah 6:48-49. What was that in reference to? About the casting fear into the hearts of the disbelievers? Did you pass me that verse, or was it something else? I don't know. I appreciate it though, whatever it was. Wait, let me look it up. Let me look it up. Surah 6:48. I say Surah 6:48 and it brings me up Luke 6:48. That's not a surah. Quran 6:48-49. What is that? And we sent not the messengers, but as givers of glad tidings and as warners. So whoever believes and does righteous good deeds, upon such shall come no fear, nor shall they grieve. Whereas those who have rejected our signs, torment shall afflict them because they used to commit sins. Quran. D. Bodro made a super chat of $100. Thank you, D. Bodro. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Wow. And said, sorry, David Wood, AP is paid by the French to support France. I appreciate that. Yeah. See, it's the French who are supporting me. In any case, thank you, D. Bodro. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate it very much. Alexander Dahl made a super chat and said, La ilaha illa Paygambar Ridwan. Thank you. Mickey Assume said, where does this go? Do you think resentment plays a significant role in Muslim anger? All the insecurity and resentment. Can you talk more about this? It certainly does. You are constantly frustrated in Islam it is a hard discipline. It is like growing up in the military. It's like you're constantly part of the military, and you are given this discipline that some people simply do not. Most people actually do not want to live with, and you are constantly frustrated, you resent the way you are brought up, you resent these rules that you are supposed to stick to, although you are also made to believe that you love it. And as a result, it gives you fear and hate and all that. I could talk about this lengthily. I wanted to work on something like that anyway. A Doc Wright made a super chat and said, "Well said, truly, you nailed it." And BLT, bacon, lettuce, tomato, be on your plate. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Whatever we rack said, thanks so much, dude. Thank you. Buzz became a member of the channel and became a prophet. Thank you so much. Mouthwash Typhoon said, "Can I get the 11 wives and the child bride as an optional extra, though?" You probably could if you become a member of the channel, but no guarantees. Amateur Anth said in a super chat, "AP, how do we exist from apes and monkeys?" Are you asking me a question about evolution, or is that what this is about? Different topic. I appreciate the super chat, but not monkeys. I don't think I'm in a position to discuss that, especially not right now. I'm dying. Robin said in the super chat, "God bless you, AP. As a Catholic, I only desire peace and happiness on everyone. May the Lord bring justice to the victims in France. God rest their souls." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sophia Agape made a super chat and said, "I'll get to work on a cartoon. I can't draw, but it might be really close to the grotesque visage. Is that how you say it in English? In German, it's visage, right? Yeah, I don't know. Off of the fake prophet." Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Murtaza Mustafa said, "Islam'dan uzak durun," which is stay away from Islam in Turkish. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. What Don BB said, "What happened to your dreams, apostate prophet?" My dreams? I don't know. What do you mean? Okay, that's it. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate I appreciate you for being here, for listening, for joining. I will see you again very soon. Thanks so much for all the super chats, for your comments, and you do good work," said John Harmon. Ryan Talbot said, "I think it's delayed." Gedalia said, Tatiana said, "Boycott halal products." Jeremiah's Crossroads said, "AP is an atheist." That is true. I'm an atheist. Orthodox Roman Albania said, "Is apostate prophet a Christian or atheist?" I'm an atheist. But I very much coexist and appreciate. Mercy Boninu. I'm expecting a baby, by the way, which will be born, who will be born just in a few days, and then I may be gone for a while. So yeah, okay, I have to go. Come on, I just cannot say goodbye. Ron M said, "Export of French wine broke because of boycott in Muslim countries." And Goose Guy made a super chat and said, "Hey you, okay, I'm leaving. Have a good day. Have a good evening. Have a good night. Stay strong. Stand with France. Stand with free speech, and greetings to France, greetings to Macron, greetings to the French people, and stay away from Islam."